Welcome to the Gab. Yeah, let's do this one again. Welcome to the Gab. I am here with the crew. I'm Gabby Johnson, the host of this show, and you are our guest today. So if you are watching from Comcast 30 or Fios 45, just take your smartphone and jump on Princeton TV Facebook and start to comment. Give us your insight while we are talking today about a very unique subject who is autism into the workplace. So in a little while, about 12:15, our guest, Mo Siddiqui is going to come, and sorry, Mo, you'll correct us. Siddiq will come and join us and talk to us about that place where people need to find peace and love. But before we start, I would like you to meet the crew.
Hi, I'm Mita Mehta, founder of AMP Consulting.
I'm Melissa Tenzer, the CEO of Dress for Success, Central New Jersey.
Esther Tanes from Esther Inc. Insurance Agency and Simple Tax and Bookkeeping.
Dr. Joan Coleman, owner, director, founder, CEO. Let me be me.
So before we really start on the subject of autism, yesterday I was thinking about that, and I would like you to tell me what is the hardest thing that you have faced into your life. So let me give you a little storyline. A few years ago, my husband and me, we were doing filming an event, and it was an event for autism, and it was a workshop to tell us about how people who have autism feel about the outside world. And for me as a video producer, one of the things that is very important is the sound of your video. And one of the exercises that was there was actually about how they perceive the sound around them. And it was amazing because it was a brouhaha of sound that I couldn't even think into my mind. So I'm going to turn it to the crew, but if you want to put your comment, again, engage with us, entertain with us, because that is what makes the Gab a fun show. So girls, what is the hardest things that you have faced?
Oh, wow. In terms of dealing with someone with disability or
Just in life in
general, many of my friends and family, and I share this very openly, I have a young son who's dyslexic, and the process of finding out what was his learning difference was hard because some friends actually told me that I was the cause of the situation by being so attentive to him. And that it was me being too much of a mommy that was encouraging these challenges and that they were not real. And that to me was very painful to hear from a friend, friends, two of them. I don't think they meant to hurt me. They just thought, he's okay. Look, he's no big deal. It's just you being dramatic. And to me, that was hard. And then when my son went to school, and I remember him coming out of a classroom and saying why I'm so different, I think that was hard to hear as a mom, that I'm just not smart. Everybody's smart, and and that was tough. And then until he got to the Lewis School, and all the kids were dyslexic and ADHD, and he was so at home there because everybody. So I'm assuming that may be what other parents are experiencing with children with autism. And
so when you say that the hardest thing was to hear it from your friends.
For me as a mom, yeah.
How did you really feel inside, and did your relationship with those friends changed?
I took defense, but then I wheeled it in because I realized that they didn't have children with learning difference. They didn't know what that was like, and I think as tough as I am, because everybody knows that I'm tough.
She's tough.
Stop.
Stop. We like it.
I'm correct. As tough as I am, I know when to wheel it back and realize that I could have gone into attack mode, and I chose to say, I'm going through a process, and when I'm done, I'll share with you girls what it's like. I think that you don't really know what's really happening, and it's okay. And I was able to walk away from there hurt, because I was hurt, but I didn't. I could have gone into attack mode, right? But I chose not to. I think the second part was hard when a doctor was very brutal and told me if I was not okay here and not realize what was happening. And I walked out lost out of that meeting, like really not having my bearings. And that was tough.
I think the early intervention that you did in realizing that there was something going on is so important, because it's hard for parents to think that their child isn't going to be able to work, and it's National Disabilities Employment Month. So to think that your child is going to be so disabled that they're not going to be able to be in the workforce and be a contributing citizen is the toughest thing. So we all worry when they're young about those milestones. And in a lot of cases, people are in denial. That you were open to hear what the experts said was so key in being able to help your child have a full life. So
And
it's
now
hard
he's-
at the time to hear that. It's just congratulations and doing all of that and where he is today.
Oh my God,
It's like
he's
amazing.
A true teenager. He's an 18-year-old.
Yes, that's great. That's great.
With all the 18-year-old stuff. I did share last week.
Yes, we
Last week's episode. That should go back. Doors open.
Doors open.
doors open. Yes.
Anybody else would like to share?
I want to share my when my son, my youngest, was in like 4th grade. They called me up to the school. They wanted to give him an IEP, and for parents to hear IEP is like, what? It's not as bad as autism or anything else. But it was like, what? Not my baby? No, And so people facing these challenges have to come to grips, like you were just saying, with, okay, maybe I have to address this. Maybe I have to see what they're saying. It's scary. You become afraid. You're like, not my kid, he seems fine. He looks fine.
Absolutely.
But you have to get in your mind like, okay, if something's happening here, I have to jump on it so I can help him to be a great human, in the future.
Mhm.
And so, though it was tough, thank God I had the support. I had my sister she's an educator. She's a master teacher. She knows she's doctor in education too. She knows, she knows how to support me and hold me down when I'm about to pass out. She's like,
Exactly.
It's going to be all right. This is a great thing. It'll travel through college, whatever. It's going to be great. And so we ended up getting it. But I shield him from the whole thing. He didn't even know he had it, because I was so like you, I was protective of him, and he didn't know he had an IEP. Somewhere down the line, he might have figured it out, but he never verbalized to me like, I have this. What does this mean? He's taken all the classes. He's in classes. He's doing great, and he has an IEP. If something were to happen, I could go up there and be like, "What's happening?" So that's. Never be afraid of that. That's what I'm trying
Absolutely.
to say.
Get the help
Never
where
be
you
afraid
can.
of
Yeah.
getting
It's
help.
not about you. It's
Yeah,
about
it's
your
about
child.
Getting them the help they need.
Yeah.
My daughter
Mhm.
actually, when she was young, they took people out of the classrooms, and she had such confidence that she thought that they were, taking her for the honors class. And when they called out the final of who was in honors and she wasn't there, she was devastated. She said it was one of the hardest days of her life that she didn't get picked out for honors, where really they were looking at her for other things. And, she just worked up to her potential. But it's hard for a kid to understand that. And it's better that they just go along and feel that everybody's different in their own unique way, and that they're all going to kind of rise up to the occasion in most cases if you give them the love and the support of family. Like, you're an educator, so that's really important that your sister and you rally together to see the best course of action. So
Mm.
And it's a gift. I think it's a gift.
Yes,
I feel
that's
it's
what I
like you're
tell
an angel.
Mhm.
For me, it's personal. Growing up as a refugee, seeing my parents, they were privileged back in Uganda. And then to come here with $140, living on welfare, living soles on shoes, and not getting opportunities because the way they spoke. they spoke with accents, and back then in the 70s, my parents made sure that we spoke English and we weren't speaking our native tongue at home. And I was put in a program for at-risk youth, the Head Start program, and so it was a little daunting because you sort of feel less than, but then the more you can sort of show your talents and have people believe in you. For me, like I was taught, like I was one of the smartest kids in the class when perhaps there was some learning curve, and it served me so well. So it's a gift, I find, when you can lean into that.
Can I piggyback on that? I came from Jamaica. I was 11 years old, and they put me in one of those classes because I had a thick accent.
I love that
And
accent.
then-
The Head
But-
Start.
Jamaican
Yeah,
to me.
but I know what they're talking about. You know?
I love it.
It's a beautiful accent.
They put me in this class to try to teach me English, which Patois is English, it's just broken English.
Right.
So in my mind, I'm like, well, I'm already speaking English.
Yes, ESL
The
classes.
thing is, you're intelligent. That's the
Yeah.
thing. It was just like, I know I'm intelligent, but it's
Yeah.
how do I translate this?
Right.
And so
So
that's
I
fascinating.
have a similar story, but actually it's from my siblings. And as you know, I was born in the States, and my siblings are older than me. And when I was 4, we went back to Switzerland, and we had the same issue than you had. They spoke English, and now they are in Switzerland where they need to speak French. So first of all, they were dressed all very differently because coming from America, you have a certain style. But then they spoke English, and the teacher will say to my mom, no, you got to speak to them in French, and they need to speak French only. As today, you are looking at education and more languages that you can speak with your kids, and better it is for the kid and their development. So things are always changing. It's a little bit like with the COVID.
Right,
You know,
right.
The thing is,
The rules are always changing.
autism is a great
Yes.
language.
It
It
is.
is. It's a fascinating
It is.
language.
And it is fascinating, and we are going to see it in a few minutes. So so you heard the story, and this is just regular kids, people with the norm that they are facing, the challenges, normal challenges. So let's imagine now, I want you to just sit there for a minute while we are getting our guest in, and just have the sensation of being not in your normal shoes, but into someone that has autism. And how would it feel? And how would you react to this? And again, participate, engage, put that comment into the box. We'll lift it up during the show. So now we are going to be breaking. Thank you, Esther.
I want to say adios.
Adios, mamá latina.
I want to say adios and welcome to the.
All done. You are.
Oh wait, I'm hooked up. Sorry. Now you get hooked up.
Hook me up now.
Great topic. Have a great show.
Thank you, Esther.
All right.
We love your story. So there we have the famous Mo. We are so happy. I'm just going to put this on, or maybe there you go. There you go. Perfect. I'm going to have Melissa introduce our guest of honor today.
Mo, thank you for joining us. Mo Sadiq is the executive director of We Make. It's right in Pennington. He's been there for about 4 years.
Yeah.
His background is that he worked with adults in the high school that had autism, and then he went to Eden Autism Services and helped adults be able to get jobs and learn life skills and kind of revamp their program there, and did a great job where I met him. And today he's here to talk about We Make and how you work with people that have disabilities and how it's a part of the fiber of what you do there in Pennington. Can you tell us a little bit about We Make and the inception and how the whole organization got started in helping people with disabilities?
Absolutely. We Make is the brainchild of our founder, Tony Lazinski. He's a father and a parent, and as parents, you guys were all talking about it. You do, and you want to steward a good future for your child. And for parents of children with autism, it's a different road to hoe. A lot of them, there's barriers that and there's barriers that you don't see. So I think for Tony, his son was aging out of the school system, leaving that Department of Ed, and that's the moment you realize all in the structure of what that encompasses, and you have to recreate that. And when he was looking at options of what's available within the community, there wasn't a whole lot that satisfied what he was looking for. A quality life that supports the whole person, that's engaging them, that's growing them. Being an entrepreneur, a businessman, and somebody with good muster and ideas, he said, well, let's create WeMake. And, we thought him brainchild and thought about it for some time. And he was a 2017 entrepreneur, Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year.
That's great. Congratulations to him.
Yeah.
That's an amazing accomplishment.
An amazing compliment, amazing man. And I got an opportunity to stewardship that leads innovation for reducing the barriers to employment, reducing the barriers to quality of life. As parents, you guys were all sharing your stories, giving foresight for parents that have children with autism, something to look forward to, the hope. A lot of times I always say, juniors, seniors, parents are thinking they're going to go to this college, they're going to go to this, they're going to be this, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to play for the Yankees, you're going to, we have these hopes and dreams. And for some of the families that we serve, that dream wasn't always clear. You don't always know, which I think for parents, when you don't know, that's when anxiety and that angst of what do I need to do to make this work? How do I make this work? So WeMake set off to be a social enterprise, something that can be a support and a vessel for all members in the community, but not just persons with autism, the school community, the service provider community,
Absolutely.
All the different resources that support and supply and aid families. So we wanted to be the vessel for that. And I think we think about what's a full day for us. It's work, and WeMake wanted to be that first conduit and give that opportunity to employment, which fills your day. And once you have employment, that's your conduit to friends, your conduit to community, your conduit to just being able to control and be autonomous within your life. So that's how WeMake started, and we're 4 years young this November. So
Congratulations.
yeah,
You're doing a lot of
job's
great
not
work
done
in the
yet.
community.
Job's not done yet.
Yeah.
We're still moving forward.
So I have a few facts here. We have 1.5 million people with autism. And the fascinating thing is that 1 in 68 US children has autism. But the beautiful thing I like is something that comes from your website, who is a place to go and grow. The goal is to give adults with autism a new sense of pride and purpose, to foster a real career instead of simply offering jobs, and to produce the kind of goods everyone can feel generally good about. And I thought this was very powerful because we always think about young kids, before the age of coming into the workplace. But really, WeMake is very special about that they really pick it up to the moment where people drop it. So tell us a little bit, like which kind of jobs, you provide.
So the jobs we want a ton of variety. We want stuff that we can build the skill set on, and we can teach, and we can teach a group of persons to learn these jobs. So it's assembly, it's OEM manufacturing, it's kitting jobs, it's e-commerce fulfillment, it's warehouse inventory tracking. Within every single one of those jobs, we break them down to their simplest form, and in one job, there may be 7 or 8 jobs. We make it one step at a time. But jobs that we can teach a curriculum to, that they can learn, that's not going to go away in 2 weeks. We have some jobs we want to paint the bridge. So a job that's bottomless, that's going to allow our kids to thrive and grow and build some numbers. And at the other end, there's a company that's getting a quality product, that's being able to say that they work with an inclusive model, that they've thought different, they're doing different, and their customers are receptive to that. So that's the cyclical effect that we, they can bring work to us. Our kids and adults that work at our program can, learn a skill set, apply those academics that they've learned through the school system. But it's work. But within work, and you work in a team, there's social aspects. You have to learn how to interact with your coworkers, how to interact with your superiors and your vendors, and we make is all of that. It's exactly careers. I like to say it's industry inclusion, as opposed to community inclusion. It's that too. It allows all of our employees to have no glass ceilings. Our floor supervisor started as an intern. 2 years later, he's a consistent ability to think outside himself, and we're a family. And he looks and he learns from all of them individuals, and he stewards them along that process. And I think that's the best story we can tell, is that you can start in one place and you can end in another, and to have a full journey at WeMake. And if that takes you someplace else, great, and that's awesome. And we will see you in a couple of years, because I will tap into those individuals.
Yeah.
But
Alumni.
Yeah,
There's
right?
alumni stories, which is
Hopefully
amazing
they
to
don't
see
leave.
their growth.
Hopefully they
Right?
don't leave.
So I love the culture of WeMake, meaning not only you give them the tools to be able to, find themselves into building up a career, but you also, the culture behind it, like you give them space to play. And I even saw that they are doing yoga.
Yes. We think about. I think about, you think large, we think big. You think Google, what are they doing? You think about, how do you support your employees to have a quality work day? That's a part of our enrichment program. So there's a nice balance. We want work to not feel like work. So you come into our 20,000 square foot facility. It looks like Big's room from the movie Big. It's half play, it's half work. On this side, you see all of our employees working together, working in unison, building great products. But then, with no alarm or bell or anything that's a signal, you see them go and socialize with one another. They play ping pong, they play pool, they do yoga, they have music therapy, art therapy. We have an arcade. They have an abundance of snacks and little different things that allow them to know that, hey, work is really great. And I always say the best thing about WeMake is our Fridays are our Mondays and our Mondays are our Fridays. Just last week, we had a young lady, her family was getting ready to go down the beach, and she's in tears, and she says, I just want to go to work. And I said, well, and you know what we do is we're saying, no, it's important. We be with your family, go to the beach. I wish someone would push me to the beach.
Yes, we all need a vacation.
Yes.
Mo, how has COVID affected the employees that have autism? Because obviously change is something that's very difficult within the community. So how did you pivot with the work that you're doing? Manufacturing obviously is backed up with, the supply. How did you pivot with the employees with disabilities working from home or remote, and kind of tell us how that affected the business?
Well, COVID hit everyone the same. It was a harsh reality of things we didn't see, and it was a trying time for everyone. So within that, we shut down for about 8 weeks, but we retooled and we put our heads together, and we said, how do we for the group that we serve, routine is so key. And our, there's a long journey that they've come to get to that independence and that routine. So how do we keep that going? So we retooled, we readjusted our space. Work with our vendors, told them just give us a moment, be patient, and we retooled, and we were able to open back up 8 weeks later.
It's amazing.
With social distancing, all the schools were able to come, and in the state of New Jersey, we were the only facility through COVID that serves the autism populace that was up and running, and we were hiring at 1.5 a month. So
wow.
I mean, and we've stayed on that pace. So I think what we did, we thought different. How do we bring those individuals into our space? How do we keep routine? How do we keep some type of normalcy within life for parents and our individuals? I always say we serve our employees, but we also serve the families that support them. It's a village. So any reprieve we can give to parents, any rhythmic and routine we can give to those we serve is uberly important. And even those that maybe they have a compromised immune system, or they have a family member, or that does, and maybe there's a general hesitation to work. So we got creative around that. we go ahead.
So
I'm just gonna insert-
before we go to, sorry, Amita, I want your friend to know that you are watching,
Yes.
and we have big hellos for Manu, Bethany, and Karen. So please drop your comments for Mo to answer if you would like. But
Like, go Mo!
Mo! Yes.
But yeah, I guess the question is like, so for people that aren't familiar with WeWork, like, so
Yes.
parents, like, how do they connect
Or
with you? How do organizations connect with you? So if I was sitting out there right now watching this, like, how do I connect?
So info at wemake.works. M Sadiq at wemake.works. Reach out. I always say those that are looking for us, find us.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to do. There's so many ways you can connect with us on social media, LinkedIn. Every parent of a person on the spectrum, they are the most creative, vigorous, and vigilant persons. They will find you.
Raising awareness.
Yeah.
And they reach out to us and we serve them. So whether that be through our website, whether that be through our social media app platforms, whether you just call in, whether you shoot me an email directly or any of our team members, it's an easy way to get connected to us.
And it sounds like schools are connected with you as well.
Yes. So in that rhythm of kind of normalcy, and we're talking about that COVID period, all of the individuals, we connect with schools, service providers. So all the schools we have sending school districts that come with us. We work with Hopewell Valley, Princeton, Montgomery, Lawrence, Ewing, and they all so we were able to be open. And all those students through that time period, they weren't home. They were able to come directly. They were picked up by the school. The school district supported us.
Right.
The school district said, hey, well, we can
That's
transport. If you
wonderful.
have, they came, the supervisors did their test, and they had the measuring tapes out.
Yeah.
They were saying, are you 6 feet apart?
I had a question for you.
Yeah.
Before you go to your question, thanks for our viewers out there. Is saying during COVID, WeMake was a huge savior. So thank you. Just wanted you to know that.
That's great.
Go ahead,
One of the
Dr.
participants
Jones.
weighing in.
So you employ, WeMake employs people with autism disabilities. What kind of jobs do you offer them, and do they get paid for those jobs, or they're just working and not knowing like, let them work, we're teaching them this
Life skills.
life skill,
Mhm.
so they don't need to get paid. Is that their payment, or do they get like stipends, or
So the school, all
what
of our
kind of employments?
So all of our school persons that school employees that come to us as interns, they're in an unpaid internship. But what we're doing is, as they exit school, they know their job, they know what they're doing. The parents know their job, they know they're safe and engaged, and then the transition is really a transition just to start being paid. But what's different from a lot of the things that are out there. There's no pay to play. So our employees come in, they put in a hard day's work, they put their head down, they smile, they laugh, and at the end of the day, they get paid. So gainful employment, that's the first thing. That's the once you get a paycheck, you start taking a little more autonomy over your life. You can buy your own Christmas presents and a new seat at the table. I always say, with the holidays coming around, I always say the main thing that I like to do is give them another seat at the table, and we want "oh wow" instead of "oh that's nice." You work at the supermarket, and could be a great environment, could be a good job, but your aunt comes around and says, "Oh, what are you doing?" You say, "I work at so and so supermarket," and they say, "Oh, that's nice," and then they move right on. But if you say, "Oh, well, what are you doing for work?" "Oh, I work at WeMake. We work with Bristol Myers Squibb. We work with Johnson & Johnson. We work with OEM manufacturing groups. We work with e-commerce," and they say, "Oh, wow, and they want to learn more, and we want to give them not just the ability to come in and get paid, but we want an ability for them to be able to say what they do, and that's a different seat at the table. It's
That sure
confidence
is. That's
within what you do.
So we have another question from one of our viewers out there. They're asking, how is WeMake funded?
So we receive no state funding.
Wow.
That's amazing. That's unusual for that community, for the autism community. Very
It would-
unusual. So you pay directly to.
We pay directly. Our vendors pay for the work that gets done. Some of them pay a little bit more,
Right.
but because they know what we do, and our employees receive a fair pay, and that's the best. That's the best thing.
Yeah, that's a great.
I wanted to know. So you help the disabilities with employment. Do you go as far as transitioning into life skills like apartments, getting them a place to stay, or do you pass that down to another
Agency.
Agency.
So what we do at WeMake is we focus on the work and the building of WeMake. But what we do is we partner with other like organizations that are able to serve families in a number of different ways, whether that be speech pathology, ABA services, respite services, adult learning in the home, any type of transitions to the community. So there's coming to work and then there's going to the community after that. So what WeMake is really based in is our bottom line is completely tied 100% to having all of our employees be independent. Right now, we have over 40 employees at WeMake that are on the spectrum. 97% of them are completely independent, which is saving each of their budgets easily $50,000 to $55,000 a year, which gives them freedom and flexibility. So parents aren't making a choice between work and speech or work and respite.
Right.
We saw the void in the system. We said, well, that's the biggest sponge is job coaching and being able to go to work, and that's the majority of the time. We said if we can take that away and let them be independent within that part of the day, the families get a flexibility of budget. They can recreate what they had in the school system and the support. And it's not easy as a parent. There's
It's
for
very
no
hard.
parent it's easy, but for parents of
Right.
persons on the spectrum, you're constantly on. You're
Yeah,
constantly on, and we
constantly on.
want to be able to let them not be on.
Yes.
We want to let them relax and know
True.
the time that they're with WeMake, that they can.
This will bring me to another question
Yeah.
because, like, let's say I'm a company out there that is looking to employ somebody from WeMake. What are the biggest challenge issue for someone to take upon a person to put on staff?
I think I guess I'll speak to what makes WeMake unique and how we are able to be successful. It's bringing all you talked about IEPs and things, bringing all of that information and having families share that with us for us to learn about all of our employees. We have a learn, discuss, develop. So we learn about every employee. We develop a plan for every employee. We discuss it ongoing, and the discuss means we're always retooling the wheel. We're always making sure you can be in this job, but hopefully, how do we get you to the next job? You learned this skill and you mastered it. How do we teach you the next skill? So our focus is always on growing.
Okay.
That's great.
But would you say that some people will have safety issue?
Yeah, I think so we have a lot of our equipment is safety set and set up to be so we have sonic welders, and you have to have both fingerprints on there. So we try to take a lot of the harm out of it within our practices. But I guess some of the harder things are it's typically not the hard skills. A lot of our employees, so we have 97% that are independent in the workday. But then when we go to these social outlets and engaging with others, autism is very much so a social disorder. So helping them feel comfortable in the workspace, so they're comfortable to communicate with their coworkers. That's where we really see that a lot of the efforts and some of the work being done. So being able to be comfortable in your job, socialize, and start to take some autonomy within the same way we live our lives is building a bridge for them to have that.
That soft skill, the touching, the shaking of the hand,
Yes.
the communication, the interaction. That you find that difficult. That's what you just said, right? The difficult part of the job.
Difficult, but not. It happens. Communication is 80% nonverbal. So even some that are nonverbal, they're saying a ton. They're doing a ton. And what we see at WeMake is, if you create the right environment and if you build it around and you shape it for those persons we're serving, all of that is a natural byproduct. They play games together, they socialize together, they have team meetings, they advocate together. And it not only happens at WeMake, they take it outside of WeMake. So they get together on Friday nights and they have games. They get together and we have fundraisers. They come to our fundraisers. They're a part of it. We work with local restaurants where they shut down and they say, all your families and friends come and we're going to also, not only we're going to let you be a part of that, we're going to give a percentage back to you. So being a part of the normal things that we do, that's quality of life.
And do you
Yes.
work with organizations on like ADA compatibility? Like, so in terms of like, hey, we might want to hire some of the folks that work there, right? So do you coach organizations as well?
So that's the idea, is that WeMake is a flexible model. You come to Pennington, you see WeMake, you see what we're doing, and you can have that yourself. Companies come and they're inspired, they see it, and they want to be able to be inclusive and have inclusive practices. They can reach out to WeMake and we're that. So you can see it as a microcosm and say, how do I put this in my place, and then if you have the interest, if you're the right person that's in it for the right reasons, we have a team of persons and a board that's full of acumen that allow us to be able to flex and share We Make. That's the idea, is that there's more people employed, and that if it's through We Make, wonderful. If others get inspired and want to hire, that's the mission. More folks of that
Before you go to
1.5.
that question,
Yeah.
Before you go to that question, Melissa, do you have fundraisers?
Oh yes, we do.
Sorry, to you, the
That
viewers.
was not a plan. That was not a plan.
We Make throws one heck of a party for a good cause. November 7th, we have our second annual Harvest Fest. Last year we were virtual.
That's great.
This year we are in person. A bit of normalcy returns. We can party together with protocol, and we'll be able to do it safely. But it's November 7th at our facility, 109 Route 31 North. From 1 to 4, we are going to be having fabulous food from Baco Restaurant. We are going to be having fabulous
Great.
drinks from Sourland Spirits, another vendor of ours. We're going to be
Wine.
having fabulous wine from Scout and Cellar, natural
That's
wine.
great. Absolutely.
So really harvest food, food, wine,
Good
liquor.
restaurants and
Food,
wine.
wine, liquor. We'll have the football game on.
You should
You should
go.
show up. You should
Yes.
and it's a great way to spend your Sunday.
Yes, we're going. We'll go
You
there.
guys are all invited. You guys are my guests. Absolutely.
So
Go
how,
ahead,
You're our guests too.
absolutely. How does employing people with disabilities help the client and also help the community as a whole?
That's a good one.
So I always think about the new carbon footprint. Companies think about, what are you doing? It's not just the community. That's not just the products. It's the people within the community that those products reside. Being community focused, having a strong understanding of where you are and within your community, that would make any business better. And the more ties you connect, and ways that you connect and you support us, and We Make is surely that. You'll have a better impact. You'll know that, by bringing in this facility, I'm hiring X amount of persons that didn't have an opportunity. And if you've ever been a person that didn't have an opportunity, I was thinking about that job that says requires supervisory experience. But like, how do I get supervisory experience? So I'm never a supervisor.
Right.
How
How do you
the
work
leap
up
of
to
faith.
that level?
We're the leap
Exactly.
of faith. You can come and be with us.
That's
And that's what I want to ask you. What about those employers that said, I want to be a part of this. I want to do this, but I don't, I'm nervous, I don't know what will happen. And they're kind of nervous and scared. What can you tell them? Like,
Do they have a wraparound that goes out with them when they go on the job? That's a good question too,
So-
to piggyback what Joan said.
It starts with supports. I think it starts with the belief that they can do it. And I think that, we invite those businesses to come to We Make, come see it in a living, breathing organism. It's happening. You can see it. And then, trust in We Make to guide you to what that looks like for them. We'll give you the education, we'll give you the structure, we'll give you the resources, and we'll share all of what we have in order to help a business grow. If they're tying on to bring a We Make to them, we're going to all they need to have is just that interest. They want to do it. People are nervous to do things they've never done
Yeah.
before. Those that have done them, it's our duty to show them. And if they want to be a part of it and be a part of the change they want to see, if they want to be a part of that, come to We Make. We can usher that.
So and look, we share similar backgrounds in terms of diversity, equity, inclusion.
Yes.
Well, how did you land at WeWork?
Nah.
Why?
Um,
Because you could land anywhere pretty much with your background, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So-
I always feel like your calling is as much as you're looking for your job is looking for you. Being inspired by a group of young persons at a young age. I'm a Black man. Anybody that's you didn't know that?
No, I never
But being judged upon face value, having to work twice as hard, having to double dig, just to make sure that you have your traction in the ground. Anybody that's had an obstacle like that, I share and empathize with that.
Women,
Yeah.
we totally empathize.
Yeah,
with you.
underpaid and
Yeah, but you sort of bet on an idea 4 years ago.
Yes.
So what's your
Yes.
what made you
Bet
want
on
to
it.
commit to WeWork versus you could go to
Like you
corporate
said,
America,
you could do anything.
If
You
you
really had a
could-
vast background.
If you've shared time with anybody on the spectrum, you would double down too.
Oh yes.
You would
I
double down
believe you.
too.
I'm right there.
It's the most honest person you'd meet. It's sometimes brutally honest. They'll tell you that you got a stain on your shirt, but they're just it's a passion. It's something that's infectious. To
So
work
there's
with
something
persons.
personal for you,
I worked in that, and when I was a senior in high school, at the Pennington School, I did an internship at my elementary school. I worked in a special ed classroom. I love the fact, I said, so you don't have a curriculum? He goes, no, I just make it fun and I learn them. I teach all these different things. He goes, and my job is to make sure that they're empowered and that they leave with a smile and that they're happy about themselves and they come back. And obviously the education and the teaching of certain things happen along the way.
Oh, absolutely.
But I
At
started
a
at
young
high-
age.
Yeah. When I was in
Senior.
high school, I saw just a number of kids that should have an opportunity.
Mhm.
And if I can be a part of that opportunity,
Mhm.
then that's a pretty good day.
Yeah,
That's
it
a
is
pretty good day.
And I love it when you go to the website.
Yes.
And you watch, they have some clips and videos and
Mhm.
so on about the culture again. And I was surprised about reading about it in the question that autism plays into the right talent are more efficient or could be more efficient than a regular person. Talk about that.
Oh, so that's the beauty of the worker.
Mhm.
That's
Yes,
the beauty
right.
of those that we serve.
Mhm.
They're fixed and they're regimented and some like things just so. And so we do assembling of different brackets and hinges for these OEM manufacturers. They were doing it at a home site with other persons, and they were taking them probably about a minute and a half or whatever. And we had the Bristol Myers Squibb procurement team. They were doing to come lunch and learn with us. And we had a young man, and I'm watching, and it was a profound moment for me. And they typically build these things. It's typically like a minute and 15 seconds to build this hinge, and they assemble it all different ways. So we bring their team over, and the young man's name is Kyle, and Kyle says, "Okay, yeah, I'm going to show you this." So Kyle is doing this, and this is what people that are they're managing large monies and accounts within the farm industry. So Kyle's assembling this hinge, and he's telling him, he goes, "You have to do it like this, and then you do this," and he's keeping eye contact, and we're doing this, and he's doing this thing blind, and he goes, and we're done. And I'm like, I looked down, I was like, that was like 30 seconds. And he did it blind. Then he apologized for not being able to do it quicker because he said, I was trying to show you guys.
And
So-
they're
Wow,
so
that's pretty darn
productive.
good. Let's get this production
we
line
take
going.
someone that has that hyper focus.
Mm.
They can be quality assurance. They can be assembling. They can be building. They can be and ideas, or they can start to show someone else how to do that.
Right, mentor.
And that young man Kyle now today manages. He has 2 people on his team.
Oh,
that he oversees.
Amazing.
They
Congratulations,
oversee all of the
Kyle.
packaging.
That's what you want to
Is he
see.
gonna be
Yes,
here?
yeah.
Is he gonna be there on the 7th? Because
Oh, absolutely.
We wanna meet him.
Absolutely. And you can't miss him. And you can't miss him. And his family's wonderful. And just like all the families, they come to WeMake, they take a leap of faith. There's a strong responsibility and onus when someone gives you their child. And our job is to engage them, empower them, have them learn skills and learn more skills and more skills, and be able to socially connect. And that when they leave WeMake every day, that they're a better person, and that they're, we have our downfalls. There's fallouts. There's sometimes there's behavior. There's episodes. Things happen. It's life. But we're a family. So when someone falls down, we pick each other up together. We dust ourselves off together. We walk forward together.
That's awesome.
And nobody is without hindrance or
Yeah.
without him.
We have a kind word from Marie-Jo. She's saying you are excellent and she loves the topic. You are so engaging. So thank you, Marie-Jo. If you have a question
Thank
for
you, Mary-Jo.
Mo, just drop it into the comment. He will answer to you. Dr. June, you have a
I
quote?
have a quote. And the quote is, the world needs different kinds of minds to work together. Listen, we are all different. We're all unique. We're not the same. We don't come out the same. We don't look the same. We don't talk the same. And so you don't want to hire the same people, right? So here is a fabulous program with all these amazing people with different minds. So the quote again is, the world needs different kinds of minds to work together, okay? Whenever you hire somebody,
Beautiful.
consider that, all right?
Absolutely.
I love it.
I have a
Absolutely.
question for
Yes.
Mo too.
Please.
So Mo, this concept just seems to really be taking off here in New Jersey. Do you see taking this model into other states? And are there other programs that are similar that are helping people through their lifespans and their career to be able to, like you said, get a job, learn the life skills, get a career, and then get promoted and mentor other people? Is this something you see taking off?
If my dreams come true like they have today,
They have today.
they have to date. Today too. Today, my dream teacher. I would love for WeMake to be a national model for every business to have a bit of inclusivity. If that's stewarded by WeMake, awesome. If it was inspired by WeMake, awesome. But I want WeMake to be everywhere. I want us to be. I want every family that has a child on the spectrum to be able to experience what we do, to get the reprieve, to get the structure and the quality of service. My team is amazing. I would be remiss if I didn't say, like, I have a young man, Austin Fellows. He's 16 and he's working with young men. He's the star quarterback. He's a star quarterback. We won a state championship. I'm his coach. And what does he do? And all the kids don't wonder. He's down in the special education room and he's working with kids and he's a part of our team. We have a wonderful person, Jen Didden, who oversees our enrichment, and she's working with Special Olympics. She's working with Unified Sports Club, and she was all the way in Montana. And we had an opportunity, and she said, "I'm leaving Bozeman, Montana. I'm coming to WeMake." So they come and find us. Our team is amazing. What we do is amazing. Those who we serve are amazing. And that's the beauty of WeMake. It's the job you get paid every day.
You're just so passionate.
Yeah.
Very
I love it.
passionate. I have a hard question
Please.
for you. Did you ever find people being standoffish or standoffish or back affront a person that is employed and that has autism into the workplace?
I think some people are hesitant about things that they don't know about. At WeMake, we'll break that barrier down in about 15 minutes. People are standoffish for things that they don't know. And when you come into WeMake, you're immediately being educated, whether you're being told or something. One of our employees comes up and people grow through experiences. And if you met one person with autism, you know one person with autism, but it starts to open your mind and let you think differently. And most people think Rain Man and these other things. But it's your neighbor. Albert Einstein had autism. So many other people had autism. So there's great people. I think people are apprehensive on first dates. People are apprehensive. There's angst in there's angst in.
I remember
If I go on a job, if you're in a job interview, you're anxious. First date.
Yeah, so everybody.
It is like a first date.
But there's so many kind people, and you probably look for the right employers who have that sympathetic edge to them and want to make a difference in the world. And they're the people that you probably target to outsource the work. And I'm sure
And they want to
big
make money.
connections. They want to make
Bottom
money, big
line,
connections.
they're gonna make money,
They want to
right?
make money.
They're
They
gonna
want to
make
be a part
money.
of something better.
Yeah.
And they want their customers to understand and know what they're doing. And that's that new carbon footprint. That infrastructure morality audit that's happening of what your company's doing. That's that new footprint. You say, we're doing it with this and we're doing it like that. We're doing it with WeMake.
I have two questions before we wrap it up. One is, and she slightly touched upon it, what is your next step for WeMake? That's your first question.
Okay. You want to give them both?
Sure.
Yeah.
And the second one is a tip for the viewers out there that either have somebody with autism or would like to employ somebody with autism.
If they want to employ somebody with autism, I say do it. If they want to do it in a large scale, connect with WeMake. We're that conduit. That's what we do. The interest, whether we show you or you jump in formally with us, if you want to employ, we will help you. And the first question. Ask for two. Yeah.
I love it. Me too. I forget things. So the first question is the next step. What is your next step?
I think our next steps are to continue on our path of success and bringing on vendors and bringing on those that are inspired, bringing on more storytellers, whether they're a vendor, whether they're a parent, whether they're a company that's reached out to us and they want to really, double down on their commitment to serving. Next steps are, how do we get more WeMakes? How do we get more WeMakes in the state of New Jersey? And then how do we get more WeMakes throughout the rest of the country? And I think it starts one company at a time, one person at a time, one hire at a time. But with the path that we're on, I am completely confident that WeMake will be in other places.
I agree with you, Mo. I think with you at the helm of WeMake, it can go only in a great direction by helping so many people in different states. This could be the model for many people to really have a long life and just really expanding what you do, lifetime, right?
Yeah.
So people with autism, they need help throughout their whole lifespan is what they talk about. And if they can get a job and then after they graduate, 20 years they could work at WeMake or at other companies. And that's all you want is for them to be tax-paying citizens and contribute to the world. So that's amazing that you're doing all of that. I see it
thank
really
you.
happening
Thank you.
big
Thank
time.
you.
Great job.
Thank you.
But I think you have another
Amazing
plug. You
job.
have another plug, right, for how
Yes.
people can support, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Coming
yes.
up.
If you would like to support November 7th, it is our Harvest Fest. It is at 109 Route 31 North, our main facility and headquarters. It is a great day to come learn, laugh, smile, be with others, engage, hear stories, engage with me, engage with our families, support some of our vendors. Like we said, it will be featuring Sourland Spirits. It'll be featuring all of our families. It'll be featuring natural wine from Scout and Cellar, amazing food from Baco Restaurant. And it's a great
Please
day.
join Mo. It's
It's
gonna
a
be a
great
great
day.
day.
It is a great day to come learn about your community. And if you don't know, come hang out informally. And then ask the hard question. I say, how do I do this? I'm impassioned.
How do I
want
get
to be
involved?
a part. How do I get involved? And we'll steward you through that. We'll show you through.
So you heard it out there. We're going to be wrapping it up before to go to events. I invite you to reach Mo, whatever your questions are. If you want to support the organization, if you want to help them grow, or maybe you have a specific need to employ someone in your company, just reach to Mo and he will be happy to help you. So
And
this.
Mo was our first male on the show.
Yes.
There you
Oh,
go.
I like being first. I like being the first in that. I can do that.
First of many.
Maybe he'll join the team.
I told you, you could be one of the hosts.
I'll be your Michael Strahan. That's why I'm too much.
We have one more question or comment. Was a great interview and thanks for what you do, Mo. See you all on November 7 and we make family. Okay, one of your supporter out there.
Mo
just
is
wanted to
amazing.
say,
I see some
Mo,
other comments.
Lots of Mo, it's amazing. But before we wrap it up, we are going to go to events. So please join. Tonight is a big event with the Big Sisters, Big Brothers and Big Sister Autumn Culinary. So this is tonight, October 21st, between 6 and 9 p.m. at the Cobblestone Greek Country Club. Again, this is a phenomenal organization, nonprofit. It really helps kids to find a brother and a sister and be matched with a brother and a sister to be a mentor in their life, either because they don't have a father or a mother or, many circumstances. It is a phenomenal program. If you cannot join tonight, go to their website, donate, help them, do whatever you would like, buy a ticket or join us tonight, 6 to 9. All right.
We'll be there. The Gab and crew
That's
will be there
right.
tonight.
We'll
No, you
be
have
all
to join
there.
us. We're really excited. It's
All
going to be
right.
a great event. Lots of good food.
Thank you, Melissa. And next event is?
We have the Homefront event that's coming up, Halloween 5K and 1 mile run. It is on Halloween, October 31st, and it's at Carnegie Center in Princeton. And all of the proceeds go to the homeless shelter in Ewing, New Jersey. So we're really excited to be able to join in the festivities. And it's all about the kids and the families who need you the most in this community. So please join. It's going to be a great, great event.
Oops. Yes, great event.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have one more event, I believe. We have the Bayer Rustin Center event, which is Late Style Wesley Stace. It's a live concert on November 12th. And they're looking for a new home. They used to be in downtown Princeton. It's a social justice organization. And Robert does great work in this community. It's a safe place for everybody to go and to congregate. And they do amazing things. So that concert will be great. Please join November 12th.
That's great. So that I could run and then
Absolutely.
enjoy the summer.
Should go.
Right.
Let's go together.
Yes. Any other event?
Yes, the Let Me Be Me Foundation, in support of the Mercer Street Friends, is having their fall 5K 1 mile fun walk run event on November 13th at Schaefer's Simply Fit Gym, 5 Graphics Drive, Ewing, New Jersey. Join us and be a part of this fun morning.
And just one last shout out. Thank you so much for participating at the GLSEN Respect Awards last Thursday. We've surpassed giving as it relates to our combined events in New York and Los Angeles, and so surpass it in a virtual event. So thank
That's
you so
amazing.
much for all
That's
of the support.
amazing.
That is awesome. I would like to invite you on basically our next show, who will be on November 11, Veterans Day, and we will have a phenomenal guest who is Jack Morrison from the famous GM Group, who owns the Witherspoon Grill. What is the other restaurant?
The Blue Point Grill
The Blue
as
Point
well.
And the Gab was at Witherspoon last
Yeah,
night.
here
Yeah,
Witherspoon
I
last night. Delicious.
Delicious, by the way.
Yes.
So the topics on our next show is going to be the difficulty of employment during this moment. How do you staff, and the difficulty also to get material to prepare our delicious food that we had last night at Witherspoon Grill. So that is our next guest. It will be on November 11. Before we wrap it completely up, any open question for Mo before we leave the set?
Mo, you're doing a phenomenal job, and I didn't hear of WeWorks before this day, and it sounds like it's an amazing program. And my comment to you is keep on doing the good work. Keep doing the
Thank
good
you.
work.
Thank you.
And
Thank
check
you.
out realwoman.com, because WeWorked was actually featured in Real Woman magazine. So definitely
Oh.
worth checking out.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
All right.
Awesome.
So Mo, is there anything that you would like to say about WeMake and giving people in the audience a place to contact you, or any final words?
You can reach out to me directly at msiddiq, MSIDDIQU at WeMake.works. You can go to info@WeMake.works. If you're a company, a family, an individual looking for an opportunity, looking to join a cause, looking to be a part of the change you want to see, please reach out to us. Join us for our November 7th event. If you cannot join us, you can always go to the WeMake website, WeMake.works, and you can donate and be a part of us in that way. There's a number of events that'll follow through the rest of the calendar year. We want to see you in person on November 7th. Come join us. Come be a part of WeMake. Be a part of the change you want to see.
And I think whether the events are in person or they're virtual, there's such great work that people in the community are doing. So you can just
Yeah.
support directly and donate to all of these great organizations that we spoke about today, because everybody's hurting for fundraising during this difficult time. And again, there's still needs out there, not just during the holidays, but throughout the year. So that's important
Absolutely.
to know.
So
Absolutely.
based on this last question, I would like also to let you know that Princeton Community TV is a C3 nonprofit. This show is produced by the TV, and your support is important. So if you are maybe thinking about producing your own show, or perhaps you are thinking about learning about filmmaking, or perhaps you would like to just donate to support the funds of this TV, you are very welcome to go to the website, Princeton TV, and go and contact George there. He will help you out with all your questions. On this last word, I thank you very much for having participated, to all of you beautiful people who have supported and give great words to Mo. And we will see you on November 11. And here we go, the Gavin crew. Woo! Bye. All right.